Boa noite, é terça-feira, 7 horas da noite, canal 95. Nós estamos de volta com mais um programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje começamos o nosso programa a falar em português porque as convidadas que estão connosco hoje aqui no estúdio vão começar um novo programa aqui neste canal e é um programa de notícias e nós vamos falar com elas já dentro de alguns minutos. Portanto, fique connosco. Ainda para a nossa comunidade portuguesa, eu gostava de mencionar que se está a escutar este programa, não é terça-feira, é porque está a haver um programa que está a ser repetido. Portanto, volte na próxima terça-feira e nós teremos um novo programa para si. Também, se quer ver um programa em língua portuguesa aqui no canal 95, todas as quartas-feiras, portanto, amanhã, às 8 horas da noite, vai poder ver e ouvir um programa que nós gravamos em língua portuguesa que se chama Amigos. E muito em breve, a começar já neste mês de novembro, no próximo mês, nós vamos ter um novo programa em língua portuguesa com as convidadas que nós temos aqui conosco hoje. Portanto, fique connosco e espero que gostem do nosso programa. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. We are back for one more show of the neighborhood news. Today we started the show in Portuguese because the two guests that I have today, they are starting a new show here on Channel 95, and I just want to introduce them to the Portuguese community. That's why I started the show in Portuguese. The show is going to be about news, and we're going to know and find out more about the new show. But I would like to remind you, if you want to hear the Portuguese show, Amigos, that goes on the air every Wednesday at 8 o'clock at night. This show goes on the air on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. If you going through your channels and you come up with our show, and if it's not, and you to see it, but if it's not the right day, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So come back on Tuesday nights for this show, Neighborhood News, on Wednesday nights for Amigos, the Portuguese show, and we don't know yet which day and time that the new news show will be on. So Vanessa on my right side, Vanessa Matta, and Sony Fernandes on my left. She must be Republican. So we're going to talk to them about the new show, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them and the idea and how the idea came about. I think the idea, we already know where the idea came from, because our producer, CJ Farry, he started producing this show. Oh my God, I forgot the year, but I know we are celebrating 4 years now that we are on the air, and then we add one more show with the Portuguese, for the Portuguese listeners, and it was a good addition for Channel 95 because I believe is the only Portuguese show on the air right now. We're still looking, I know that CJ still looking for that Spanish show that he wants to put on the air for the Spanish community, and I hope that even the French community could, produce a show. It will be a great idea to have it. One thing that I like about this channel here and BCC is because, and I noticed that when I was one day that I spent the day in bed, I was not feeling good at all, and I just put on Channel 95 and I left it. And it was unbelievable the number of shows and talk about this community. Everything from pets to services, community service, to the state level with our state representatives. They do a show here. To singers, Cowboy L, something like that. I was able to see all the shows one after another, and I was like, look, I mean, the community is missing all this information. It's all local people. It's all people that you can find on the market, you know, that you can cross with them on the streets. It's all produced and by people from Fall River, and talk about the city and the projects and the services. But with that being said, let's talk to Vanessa and Sony. Should I know you're a little bit nervous, right? So should I start with her? Vanessa.
Yes.
For those that remember, last month I brought Vanessa here, and before we talk about the show, let's talk about who is Vanessa and what Vanessa do for a living.
Sure. So I empower people. I help people not only with lifestyle, but also finding, shortening the distance between wanting and doing something. So I'm a motivator. I'm an incentivator. I provide tools. I provide tips. I get you from like a goal that you have just in mind to concrete. And that has to do with the fact that I myself went through the whole journey of not finding what I wanted to do. And I procrastinated a lot, and finally I was able to find happiness. And I think, you know, and I pride myself of, you know, of being able to pass on to other people that, the necessity of being that. So I go back to basics, we revisit like what are your goals, your needs, your wants, and we move on from there.
Very good. And Sony.
It's a privilege to be here, and I feel very privileged.
We can see that she belongs to Toastmasters.
She absolutely does.
It is absolutely a privilege to be able to do this show with Vanessa. I met Vanessa through Toastmasters, and we are hoping to help the community. So I'm looking forward to having the show with Vanessa, and I hope that we reach all the Portuguese community, not only the Portuguese community, but whoever is able to understand Portuguese. In my career, I am a Brazilian. I came from Brazil 26 years ago, and I'm a nurse. I work at the Brockton VA, and I pride myself on doing a job where I give my best. And it is so wonderful to make a change on somebody's life. So with the news channel that we are going to be doing, Vanessa and I, we also would like to see if we can bring it to you what's going on, not only local, but regional, international, and national. I'm also going to research how can I help as far as a little bit on the health aspect. So where I have the more knowledge, and like maybe clinics where they're offering the flu shot. So I'm going to do my best in order to bring the word to our community, not just local, but New England in general. So,
Vanessa, the news that you're gonna announce is where did you gonna get them?
So we're going to go for the latest and the top ones, the ones that are mostly catered to the Portuguese-speaking community. That's what we are focusing on. I think that we, as Portuguese-speaking people, we don't see much of that focus in spreading what is our interest, and it's also, there are certain things that we should get to know before anything else out there, especially when it comes to immigration, when it comes to legal rights, when it comes to, and also combining outside news that we don't get to see much in the local channels. So I feel that sometimes we are a little bit alienated from from all that, and I think that this is a great opportunity to not only pass on the news in positive perspective, because we both, me and Sony, do have like a little bit of a different vision in terms of a newscast, and I think that we're going to do a tremendous job, because not only that, we also have knowledge on the health field, and as well as on motivating people to see the news in a different eyes, and in positive ways.
Any experience in hosting news?
Not at all. I don't know if Sony does,
Sony,
but not at all.
Any experience in hosting a show or doing a TV show?
I did help my husband a little bit. He was doing a show here for our business, and I was able to kind of help him.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yes. But
you're not really in front of the camera. And
no, other than
action, lights.
Other than being your guest on Amigos, no, I don't have any.
It's, I mean, if we, and a lot of guests that I have, they get so nervous before they get in here and they see all the lighting and all the cables and all the TVs and all the control room with so many buttons and so they get kind of afraid, but then what I tell them is, don't look, it's nothing out there. It's just you and me, and we're going to be talking. And as the show goes on and comes into an end, the person always tells me, "You're right," because that's it. Half an hour, it's gone, and it's more what you see when you get here that really gets you nervous. But after that, when you break that, and this is something that Toastmasters help us a lot, and I'm bringing Toastmasters because right here we have a good representation from Toastmasters. Me being the VP for the membership this year, I joined Toastmasters last year. Sony, it's there from day one. She's one of the funders, and she's the treasurer now for Toastmasters. And Vanessa, our baby, our baby member. She just became a member last week.
And she's doing her first icebreaker this Thursday. Next Thursday. This coming Thursday.
And the funny thing is, the icebreaker is the first speech that somebody presents to Toastmasters Club, and you committed to be in front of the camera even before you broke. So I think you all sat for icebreaker.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm familiar with the camera. I've been doing some videos, and that's kind of like how we connected a little bit more. Actually, Sonia and I met even before Toastmasters, and it's a funny story because we've known each other for 3 months maybe, or something like that. It's very, very short, and we connected deeply in the first instance, and it was during we were just extras for a movie. movie. So cameras again, right? We're in camera. But we weren't talking, we weren't articulating or anything like that. And somehow we connected on Facebook, on social media. And I do these videos because it helps me too. It's not only to pass on a message to other people, but it's also to, it allowed me to have a lot more confidence. And I think this is what happens here when we get like...
And here is at the beginning. I saw people started here and move on to bigger channels. They all started here. Vieira, her name, she's in New York now. She probably charges $2 million now for a show, but that's what she started. She started in local community channels, and then they move on. So it is an opening for a person that really likes this kind of job, and it's a door open, pretty much. But and I'm glad that we talked about Toastmasters, because it's a new club. It's a 2-year club, but it's a club that already been showing a lot of. It's growing. It's growing. Now, coming back to the show. What's the name of the show again?
RSN, we have it as short. Revisão Semanal de Notícias. That's in Portuguese.
Revisão Semanal de Notícias.
Sabias? No.
Sim.
We're making jokes.
Revisão Semanal de Notícias is the weekly news and review. That's the I think the best
title, yeah.
the best American title that we can put. And what's going to be is a combination of different news, local, international, and pretty much what the news what made top news on that week. And they're going to be presenting that for the Portuguese community. One thing they have in common too is we are Portuguese, but they're Brazilians. So I think that helped on the connection too, because you have that Brazilian.
If it makes any difference, my grandma was Portuguese from Portugal. So.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
If it makes any difference, my grandfather was from Portugal, so
Did
you're
your
covered.
grandfather know your grandmother?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're good.
So like the Portuguese song says, on the end, we all Portuguese.
Yes.
Exactly.
We are.
We all Portuguese. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. What do you think about the idea of throwing out there, if there are any important news from the audience, from whoever is listening to this show, if they have a way of sending us the news, we would be glad to maybe expose that news during the different shows?
What I'm thinking probably that could happen is if we and talking now as being in charge of some part of the show, is that probably if we reach out to clubs, churches, that they have some news that they want to be mentioned, like a church feast.
Like events.
Exactly, an event.
Local events.
And they want the to be on the news for. I think that's something that can be arranged, and we can definitely.
And maybe even guests
I think that is the idea. That's how I have it, and we spoke about that.
Yes.
To have interviews, if people want to put out there what they're doing in terms of crafts, in terms of work, in terms of just message, and we can be a vehicle to get that out there, not only local but statewide. That would be very interesting. Of course, eventually. I mean, this is thinking big. Maybe we'll go even outside of the state.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
So
we'll start small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then film.
I mean, this show started, and that's why it's neighborhood news. This show started because we have about 14 neighborhoods in the city, and this show was to bring the neighborhoods here to the show. To announce events, to bring them back after events, and so they could talk to the community. And this show started. I started this show with the Niagara neighborhood president, John, and but like everything, job gets in the way, or so I end up by myself. But I just didn't want to finish. I didn't want it to end it. So I have I'm going now on my at least third co-host, and sometimes she has kids too, and she cannot make it here. So, but I keep going. I will make sure that I'm here every Tuesday, and I do the news. But this show was created basically to put all the information out from the neighborhoods to the neighbors, and we not been having luck with that. So what and the reason I kept the show going was because I bring anybody that wants to either give us service to our community, or wants to talk about something that's going on, it's happening on our community. So the news still there, the neighborhoods, it's not there because I keep going with my neighborhood, because we put a lot of events. And last year we end up with 54 events, and this year we probably, the way I'm looking at, we still have a couple more months to go. We're going to end up with 66 events.
Wow.
So just my neighborhood alone, we have plenty of events to be talking about all the time and promoting all the time. Talking at which, we have this month of October, we have the 15 and 16, the Harbors Festival, which yard sales, and we have everything free for the kids, from hot dogs, juice, fruits, a lot of entertainment. They can have face painting. We have a bouncy house there. We have music. They can paint pumpkins. They can decorate cookies. So it's a very nice festival. We're doing a Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th. Beautiful events. A lot of kids and families come down. And I announced it just last week that Goofy, it's our special guest. So
Goofy.
kids can come and take a lot of pictures with Goofy. Mickey and Minnie was our guests last month, so we invited somebody else. He was kind of jealous. He wants to come, so it's okay. Now it's your turn. We will keep Mickey for next project, and then we have on the 29th, the Saturday 29th, from 8 to 10. We're gonna Applebee's gonna open the doors for us, and we're gonna do a breakfast fundraiser to sponsor the Harbors Festival, to pay for the food and for everything. So we're gonna have it at Applebee's, $10 a person.
Which Applebee?
Right here on Plymouth Avenue.
Oh, Plymouth.
311 Plymouth Avenue. 8 to 10, it's a $10 breakfast. It's a stack of pancakes with bacon, coffee, and orange juice.
That's great.
For $10, and then we will have somebody from Disney there too to take pictures with the kids and the families there doing the breakfast. This is from 29th, the 29th, the Saturday from 8 to 10, and then at 3 o'clock on the afternoon, we have a bus trip for Salem. I have 12 tickets available, and you know, the bus sells really, really fast. I have about 12 tickets still, 12 seats open. It's $35 a ticket, and we bring you there at 3 o'clock on the afternoon, and we are back 11 o'clock at night.
Where is the bus leaving from?
From Pleasant Street. Pleasant and Cash Street. We always leave from there. It's a great bus trip. A lot of people come with kids and everything, because up there at Salem, everybody's dressed up. They really celebrate Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
So huge.
Yes.
That's huge. Remember that? Huge. Big, huge. I think I'm copying this from somebody that I hear all the time on TV. But so you know, if you want to come, just contact anybody from our board members, or contact me on Facebook if you have. And before I move on, December, remember the Christmas parade. Finally, I heard from the committee. It's going to happen, because everybody was thinking by now that it was not going to happen because we didn't hear anything about it. Yes, it's going to happen. It's going to be December the 3rd. Same place, same time, leaving Kennedy Park. Santa's going to arrive on the helicopter like for the past 6 years. Everything it's on. We're going to be there with the live bands like always. And I'm working now for December 10th, we're going to New York, another bus trip. And on the Sunday, we have the Fall River Christmas show. That's the only Christmas show that the city puts together. We put the show together. It's all done by kids. Kids singing, dancing, caroling. It's a beautiful show, all done. Our younger dancer last year was 3 years old.
Nice.
Oh.
So
Really nice.
it's a beautiful show. Tickets are sold $1 for kids, $2 for adults. We don't want nobody to stay home. We want, if you have a big family, we want you to spend as less as you can, and bring the whole family to the show and see your kids dancing and singing and all of that. So that's still on my agenda for this year. So, but
It's a full end of year. Where can people find all this information?
on Facebook, the Flint Neighborhood Association Facebook, all our agenda, it's there, and then we announce it all the time. How we, I don't know how we don't know what time. We have about 2 minutes to end. 1 minute for you. You have your timer? Okay.
There you
She's
go.
timing.
Starting now.
Toastmaster.
That's how Toastmaster works. We have to have a timer. Vanessa, what did you expect from this show, the new show? Your expectation?
Yes. I hope to connect more with our community. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that haven't been able to even reach out to those that, you know, speak their same language, and it makes a huge difference. Translation is completely different. You feel more at home when you have your own language. So I hope to connect us even more. I hope to start even events, and I'm sure it's going to be a success.
Very good.
It's going to be great working with you too.
Oh, same here. I feel privileged, and I'm looking forward to spending the time with Vanessa and sharing our language and news for this wonderful New England.
Very good. And that's the end of our show. And you all invited for our new show here on Channel 95, the news, weekly news I forgot the name.
RSN.
The weekly news in Portuguese.
Revisão Semanal de Notícias. Thank you.
Revisão
Thank you,
Semanal.
Carlos. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.